It's hard to think behind this Western Maryland sunrise. Thanksgiving is next week.
We're used to snow, but it's all in the spirit, right?
This Washington County meat plant is in full swing preparing turkeys for Thanksgiving.
We are cutting turkeys for B. Gaddy's program, and one is giving me difficulties.
B. Gaddy's annual Thanksgiving dinner in Baltimore, feeding countless homeless and needy families.
It's thousands. I mean, I think she reached like 50, 60,000 last year.
Close to 400 turkeys deboned in a day and a half.
They're frozen from whoever donated them.
Donated by local churches and hospitals.
You cut all 4 off, then you cut to the middle.
This is a good thing, and guys, they can feel that.
The guys here work for pennies on the dollar.
It makes a person feel good, We're incarcerated, but we're still citizens.
Gabriel, in for manslaughter. Mike.
First-degree murder, and I'm serving life suspended to 50 years.
The men here work at the Maryland Correctional Enterprises in Hagerstown, at the full-service meat plant with subtle reminders of the setting.
You might not find a pair of scissors in prison, but in here you find knives.
Watching what they're doing and how they were preparing, them cutting the meat was like an art.
So they cook the turkeys and all the parts overnight, store them in a freezer, and by Friday, these will be shipped off to Baltimore to B. Gaddy.
To a cause hitting home to inmates like Gabriel, who says he was homeless as a kid.
So you got to get in and get the gizzards and other things. So, what would you rather have, a small turkey or a big turkey?
Maryland's inmates have cooked turkeys for the Baltimore dinner more than 25 years, taking as much from it this holiday season as they give.
I'm giving back to society, someone that's less fortunate. I may be in prison, but they provide a meal for me. There's people on the street, literally on the street, that don't have a home, don't have food, don't have a job, and this is going to help somebody.
In Hagerstown, Paul Gessler, Fox 45 News.
A race outside Western District as officers respond to a call on Pressman Street.
Walking across the street.
An angry crowd.
What
happened just now was 3 officers.
One man's arrest has residents angry at police.
It's simply retaliation because people are still speaking their minds, and we still feel some type of way towards the police about this. And they really don't give a darn about our lives because they're not out here trying to protect us, they hurt us.
Dividing lines appear to be drawn.
He was walking across the street speaking his mind about Freddie Gray, and they had an attitude, so they wanted to jump out on him.
Emotions appear elevated in the wake of the Freddie Gray case. While the suspect is put in the back of the car, in an unusual move, an officer sits in the back with him. Questions about why he was arrested raise tensions even more.
Over this way. This is his neighborhood. Why shouldn't he should feel free to walk anywhere. How's that jaywalking?
The current climate has people and police on edge.
This latest incident happened just 2 blocks from where Freddie Gray was arrested. And a few blocks in the opposite direction is where the Western District Police Station is. And that's where the police commissioner showed up just a few minutes after the latest incident here.
Anthony Batts shows up minutes later at the Western District Police Precinct.
Can we talk to you, please, about the latest incident?
But does not want to talk. One thing is very clear. Tension between residents and police is on the rise. In West Baltimore, Kathleen Cairns, Fox 45 News.
I came down to ask for peace.
Because I don't want to be a distraction for Freddie Gray, that's why we're here.
For every person who has felt the pain.
But believe me, son, you're talking to a mother that lost a son.
This was their day to be heard.
We have no guns. We have no violence. We have our voices.
Keep it here! Keep it here!
They came to protest the attempts of 6 city police officers accused in the death of Freddie Gray to have their trials moved outside of the city.
We say it should stay in Baltimore City because Baltimore has an opportunity to right a wrong here. Keep the trial here!
As the volume grew,
keep the trial here! Keep the trial!
So did security. Calvert Street was closed to cars, but not to the curious.
It's just an expression of some of the pain, and that's okay.
Keep the trial here! Keep the trial here! Keep the trial here!
While defense attorneys argued in the courtroom, protesters marched around the courtroom, stepping right into a challenge of their own.
Keep the trial right here! Keep the trial here. Keep the trial right here. Keep the trial here. Keep the trial right here. Keep the trial. Keep the trial right here.
The best protest is a peaceful protest.
Do you want your children hanging out with Freddie Gray?
Guess what? Guess what?
Who are you?
But do you want to get your hands off?
Who are you?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Asking if people, if we want our children to be friends with Freddie Gray.
By late morning, the judge had delivered his decision. The 6 officers will be tried in Baltimore. For these protesters, justice doesn't come without a fight.
This is just a tip of the iceberg.
Along Pennsylvania's Molly Pitcher Highway is an American success story.
Are you having a good day, Phyllis?
From the farms to your fridge, Trickling Springs Creamery stays busy.
There you are. Thank you, John.
I think it's really neat. A lot of folks like the milk out of the glass bottle.
The 14-year-old organic dairy distributor survived the recession and seems to be thriving.
Today we ship from Florida to Connecticut and as far west as Ohio.
This month, though, Trickling Springs became the unlikely target.
That might be part of the question. Was it actually ISIS? Was it not?
What would ISIS have against ice cream?
Well, that's the first thing that goes through your mind. It's like, what in the world is going on? Why would they target us?
Targeted online with the message, "We are everywhere." Turns out Trickling Springs is not alone. This message has popped up on a number of small business websites across the U.S.
Oh my goodness. No, I didn't even know that. That's terrible.
The creamery beefed up its cybersecurity and fixed the site by the next day. The lesson was learned.
It made us aware that even a small company like ours has to be careful about the security on our website.
Homeland Security, now making its way to America's heartland.
Of all the turmoil that's going on in the world, you don't think of any of that. It's very peaceful.